think the buyer's the one that decides, do I want to buy this $10,000 San Domingo necklace, or do I want to go around the corner over here and buy something, you know, for 80 bucks? You know, so I think the buyer dictates that. You know, she talked about it being economic driven. I just feel that, you know, authenticity, authentic, you know, what is it? I mean, a lot of people, non-natives, have been making money off of Native American imagery long before we have, you know. I mean, you think about Bodmer and all those guys painting Western art. And, you know, a lot of times, images of Indians painted by some European guy will be a lot more expensive than some Indian image painted by an Indian guy. You know, so, or they have silly names, or they're kind of irreverent, whatever. I mean, it's not for me to say, I just kind of bring it to the forefront. You know, also authentic Indian, you know, I have this on today, but what is it? You know, and we talked, Rose touched on it about being a card-carrying Indian to get into the Indian market. You know, so if a tribe says that if you're 1/4 or less, you're not in the tribe, therefore you're not a card-carrying Indian, but another tribe says you can be 1/64th, and be on the tribe, you know, who's more Indian? So the one that's 1/4 or the one that's 1/64th. You know, so you have to deal with all of those types of things about authenticity. You know, who's authorized to do Indian art? And I think a lot of authenticity issues really deal with, you know, I think more like the traditional arts, jewelry, pottery, cultural items, beadwork, leatherwork, and things like that, because people kind of, that's what they see as authentic Indian pottery or authentic Indian rugs and things like that. Whereas like the perspective where I come from, a painter, a contemporary painter, and maybe, you know, what's authentic other than the painter? You know, I mean, I know that's what you're looking for, but I'm painting in acrylics on canvas and putting this petroleum-based varnish on it of an Indian from 1865. You know, so how does that compare with pottery that you learned from your family, handed down generations or generations, or an artist that's sculpting Italian marble? You know, so authenticity, is it the person, is it the artist, is it the creator, is it the artwork, is it the style? You know, it's kind of all of that thrown in together. You know, so that's kind of what, you know, I think about authenticity. I just think it's up to the artist to choose, you know, what they decide. If they want to sell on the side of the road with block turquoise and nickel silver, that's up to them, you know, and the buyer will take, you know, if they want to use commercial dyes rather than handmade dyes, or if they want to paint, you know, in oil or acrylic or whatever. So, you know, I think it is economic driven. It is nice to do what you like to do comfortably, and, you know, I love to paint. I don't just paint Indians, I paint kind of everything. But, you know, I know what people like, I know what people are looking for, you know, in my art, and it's nice to kind of make a living out of that. But, you know, I just think that, you know, authenticity is tough, you know, and who dictates that? You know, is it the government that's, you know, saying you have to have an Indian card to be an authentic Indian? You know, because I have a lot of friends that are like 6 different tribes, but each one of their tribes you have to be a quarter to be on. So they're full-blood Native American, but they're 6th Apache, 6th Comanche, 6th Arapaho, you know, whatever. But, you know, they're full-blood Indian, but they're not on the roll. Therefore, they can't get into the Indian market, or they can't get a tribal scholarship, or blah, blah, blah. You know, so authenticity is just, I kind of ask, you know, answer it with the question. You know, who dictates that, who's in, who's out, who's authentic, who's not authentic. So that's where I'm at. Thanks.